The Zach United shoot, that was fun. I mean, that was a full-blown concept. We had cooperation from a local police department. I started thinking about like, well, what can I do as far as narrative, like we've talked about in the basic tutorials. What can I do to set this guy apart? What can I do on this image that's going to be relevant to what he does, but not like really literal? I thought about going into the radio station and have him like freaking out, screaming in the microphone. And I thought that would be cool, but I don't know what it was, but I just had this vision of him in the middle of the street, unaware of like a SWAT team like moving in behind him, going crazy, like lunatic crazy. Like I even considered having him be like naked or in his underwear. The beauty of this image, the subtlety, is that without context, you don't know that he's a radio DJ, but it's still a really interesting photo. But if you do know, it makes perfect sense. So it's this subtle narrative that's being told that's relevant, but not too literal or cheesy, if you will. It's like a metaphor, an analogy, a kind of alternate reality version of this radio DJ. So before the shoot, I went and did a location scout just to make sure that there wasn't any problems. I knew we'd have to kind of block the street off, which would be really easy with all the cops around. Kind of pre-block my shot, get an idea of what I wanted to do, check, and just to make sure that there wasn't anything that I hadn't thought of or that was going to be a problem. I wanted to see what the lighting was like just at sunset, which is hard because your lighting changes literally like every minute. I really needed to know what I was working with. Where did the sun set in relation to this location? I thought it would be easy to shoot in front of their police department just because of like proximity, and then everybody would meet there and I wouldn't have to, you know, worry about too many logistics. He had this coat that he loved. He would wear to parties and radio events and stuff, and it was just this crazy shirt, and he got this tuxedo and these dress pants.
You said to get something Johnny Depp-ish.
Yes.
Does Johnny Depp look like he'd fit into that? It's like his size too.
The collar.
And this is the Merlot Hef smoking jacket. It's my new best friend.
Yes.
It also has talent. It really does. Put it on. You'll feel the talent. See, that's you, man.
What was super fun about this shoot was Zach is such a gregarious personality. He actually came up with his wardrobe. I just wanted to have him in his underwear, like some like old worn out thrift store tighty-whities, like some crazy old man. The cooperation of the police department was a huge thing, and you can't always get that, but if you kind of have the perfect storm, especially if like you know somebody there or you have a connection, and a lot of police departments are really cooperative. You'd be surprised what people are willing to do. I also ran down, had a meeting with my liaison and talked about like, listen, there's gonna be guns pointing at this guy. He assured me like he had a process of we'd take all the bullets out of the guns and put them in one of the officer's trunk and kind of walk through that step. So sure enough, on the day of the shoot, they did do that. They had a line, we had a debriefing meeting. The liaison told everybody what was going on. He told them the process. Each officer had to like take the bullets out of their gun and show him, and then show the liaison, and then put it in the trunk, show the breech, make sure there was no bullets, show the officer, show Zach. It took like 10 minutes to get everybody in there. I was able to block the shot and then have the cops help me out with moving the cars into place. I didn't really know how I wanted the cars, and I ended up trying a lot of different ideas. Like I had the 3 cars come in and I was shooting like over their shoulder kind of perspective, like really bringing it together with like feeling like totally surrounded foreground and background. And I just kind of like started like moving and just kind of playing with it. You don't have to go in and be like, okay, we're gonna do this, this, and this. We're gonna put him here, lights here, bam, 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 shoot, and we're done. It's a creative process, and you have to adapt. You have to be flexible, and that's exactly what I did. The lighting was really extensive for this shoot. I had a key light on the subject, and then I backlit all of the officers with 3 backlights, and then I had a 4th backlight shining at the building to illuminate the front of the building for the shoot. It was pretty complex. It wasn't just like the standard lighting set up there. I knew shooting late in the afternoon, early evening that we'd be chasing daylight with a sunset. The sun was going down, and every like 5 minutes I was having to bring my lights down because the sun was setting, so the background was starting to like disappear, and I was having to open up the iris a little bit, and then that was throwing my lights off. So it was like this constant light chasing, and then I even at one point towards the end I had to really go down on the iris. It goes to show that you can't always plan for everything, and you have to be able to adapt. I was fighting and fighting and fighting, and it's just important to keep positive and to keep working on a solution until the shoot's absolutely done. Overall, the shoot was just a blast. It really turned out well. Everything really came together. It's just so fulfilling when you see this process come from an idea to execution, and then when you take it in post-production to just really crank it up, like with the Zach United shoot, adding the lens flares, the lighting effects on the sirens just really made it pop.